At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Breaking news from the stadium tonight as an anonymous fan foot the bill for 55,000 hot dogs, bringing that sweet tubed meat to everyone in attendance.
Free dogs! Yeah!
55,000 hot dogs? What does that even cost?
While the identity of this Frankfurter philanthropist remains anonymous, their all-beefy generosity will go down in history.
The new Mega Millions. More to win means more to give. How you spend it is up to you.
Yeah!
For game odds and details, visit sceducationlottery.com.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, so today we're going to take a deep dive into something that's pretty different from what we usually tackle.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a departure.
It's Elisabeth Hasselback's children's book called God's Masterpiece.
Interesting.
And we've got a review here that digs into the book's message about, like, self-worth and purpose and all that.
Right.
You know, aimed at kids.
Okay, cool.
So let's see what this book is all about.
Sounds good.
So from what I'm gathering from this review, the main idea here is that, like, every child is special.
Right.
And they're created by God with a purpose, you know, like a masterpiece.
Yeah, the review actually points out that this whole concept is like straight from the Bible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Psalm 139.14, it talks about being fearfully and wonderfully made, emphasizing how much care and detail goes into creating each person.
Makes sense.
You know, it's not just random. There's intention behind it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it ties in nicely with Hasselbeck's background, you know?
Oh, yeah, right. She was on The View and Fox and Friends.
Exactly. She's been in the public eye for a while, so it's interesting that she's now writing children's books.
Yeah, it feels like she's trying to reach families and talk about these values, you know, like these core beliefs.
Absolutely. And the review really highlights how the book opens with this image of a heavenly workshop.
Okay, I like that.
It's this metaphor where God is carefully crafting each child with joy and precision.
So it's not just like a factory line. It's more like an artist's studio.
Exactly. Yeah. There's thought and care put into every detail.
So this idea that every trait, like freckles a smile,
yeah,
even personality quirks,
it's all part of God's plan.
Wow.
It really emphasizes this idea of inherent value, you know, like you are perfect as you are.
And there's a reason for everything.
Yeah.
No flaws, just unique features.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
The language in the book is also interesting.
How so?
The review mentions it's inclusive and empowering. You know, it avoids comparisons and instead emphasizes that a child's worth comes from God's love.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's not about achievements or being better than others. It's about being loved for who you are.
So it's really trying to instill this sense of self-worth.
Absolutely. And the illustrations apparently show a diverse range of children.
So they're visually reinforcing this message of inclusivity.
Exactly. Everyone is God's masterpiece.
And it sounds like Hasselback does a good job of explaining these concepts in a way that kids can understand.
Right. The review praises how straightforward the book is.
It's not too complicated for its target audience.
Yeah, it seems like a good starting point for conversations about faith and identity with children.
Right.
It lays the groundwork in simple terms.
The review also mentions the illustrations by Kevin and Kristen Houchel.
They're called the Brave Union.
Oh, cool.
And apparently they use warm colors and celestial elements and whimsical details.
So the visuals really bring this idea of a heavenly workshop to life.
Yeah, it sounds really well done.
And I also noticed that the review mentions repetition.
Oh, yeah, like the phrase, "You are God's masterpiece."
Exactly. It seems to be repeated throughout the book.
That's a classic technique for kids' books.
It helps them remember the key message.
Totally. It reinforces the idea.
And the review points out the rhythm of the writing, too.
It makes it engaging for young readers.
So even though this book is rooted in Christian beliefs,
the review hints that it could appeal to a wider audience.
Because ultimately the themes are universal. You know?
Yeah, love, value, purpose.
Those resonate with everyone regardless of their background.
Absolutely.
So it seems like God's masterpiece is all about helping kids see themselves as valuable and loved just as they are.
Yeah, and created with a purpose.
That's a powerful message.
And it makes me think, how can we apply this idea to the way we interact with kids in our own lives?
Yeah, regardless of their circumstances or abilities.
How can we help them see themselves as these unique masterpieces?
It's definitely something to ponder.
For sure.
I think that's a great point to end on.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks for joining me for this deep dive.
It is my pleasure.
Until next time.
See ya. Bye.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.